everybody, it is Ito Capote, and we're back on this set of no, we're not doing ranked matches. We're doing a deck profile. Man, I'm still in my fighters days, man. But anyway, today we're doing a deck profile on Exosisters, and this is the more in-depth one. So I'm gonna explain all the cards effects, all the little interactions that they have, or not all of them, but some of them. I'm gonna go more in depth on my card choices, why I play the cards at 3. Why I play the cards at what I play them, why the reasons why I include the cards in the deck, and yeah. So if you don't want all that like little jazz and whatever, then you can check out the other video. It's more of a quick deck profile. It's like 10 minutes long. It just tells you all the cards, all the choices, and a little bit of like this is good. But if you want to like actually, if you're new to the deck, if you want to know what everything does and want to kind of learn, this is the video for you. So that being said, let's get started. Also, before I start, I want to say this is all just I don't consider myself to be the best Yu-Gi-Oh player, best deck builder. So there might be better deck builds. I don't know. I like this one. I like the way I've built it. I've done well with the way I've built it. It just works out pretty well, and I just wanted to share because it's cool. It's a cool deck. It's a really cool deck. It's battle nuns, man. Nuns that do battle. How cool is that? But anyway, let's get started with the deck profile. So first, we're playing 3 Sophia. So I think all the main deck Exosisters except for Irene are 3-ofs, just because you want to see an Exosister. There are ways to search them out, but at the same time, you want to open an Exosister in your hand so you can get those extra effects, so you can get the special summons, so you can get everything, all the synergy and the whatever. But Sophia is definitely a 3-of, because what her effect is if you control another Exosister monster, which you usually will because it's Xyz monster or main deck monster, then you can activate her effect to draw a card, which, if you don't know, in Yu-Gi-Oh, drawing a card is really good. And then all the little Exosisters, so the main deck ones, what they do is that if your opponent moves a card out of the graveyard, whether by any means, so like banishing, doing anything to the graveyard, basically, then you get to special summon a Exosister Xyz monster on top of it using this card as material. And that's all of the Exosister, all the main deck Exosisters. So I won't go over that in every Exosister card. I'll just be like, yeah, it has that effect too. But Sophia is definitely a 3-of just because of how good she is. Usually, if you normal summon this and special summon something else and then something else, then you can get usually you can get the draw off, which is just more extension, it's more interruption, it's more everything. So it's really good. So 3 Sophia. Then we're playing 3 Stella. Actually, I'll go over the other things that they do. So 1 Irene, because she kind of sucks. She kind of sucks. She's basically just nerf Sophia. But all the Exosister monsters have the claws, whereas the other one that they have on like their little partner. So Irene's partner is Sophia, and Sophia's partner is Irene. Either of them, if you Sophia, if you activate her effect and Irene is on the field, then you gain 100 life points, and the same thing for Irene with Sophia. So it's just they all have that little effect. But Irene, what she does is, while she's on the field, and you can you can put one Exosister card from your hand to the bottom of the deck, and then shuffle the deck, or maybe not shuffle the deck, whatever, and then draw 1 card. And if Exosister Sophia is on the field, then she gets to do that, and she's the clause where you can special summon from the extra deck. So it's all very good. I only play 1 of her because she sort of nerfs Sophia, and you don't really need more than 1. You just want her as the name to summon off Vadis. Which I'm only playing 2 of because I can only find 2. I'm playing an Upstart Goblin instead, but I think Vadis is a really good card and that you should play it. Anyway, yeah, Irene, 1 of. Then we're playing 3 Ellis. Ellis is one of the better ones. Honestly, everything except Irene is actually really good. I think the stronger ones are Stella and Ellis. Yeah, the draw one's great and everything, but just getting to your Xyz monsters I think is more important. So that's why I think that Ellis and Stella are better, and I'll explain why. So it has the clause where if Stella's on the field you gain 100, and the whole graveyard stuff, whatever. But if you control an Exosister monster on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then if you control Extra gain whatever. And yeah. And I don't believe this is 1 per turn. Oh no, you can't. It only activate each effect once per turn, so it is once per turn. But still, an extra summon is always good, especially since you're basically a rank 4 spam deck. It's just good. Then Stella, what she does, she has all the same clauses as the other one: the gain 800, the gain whatever, the graveyard stuff. But also, when she is on the field and you have an Exosister monster in your hand, during the main phase, you can special summon one Exosister monster from your hand, which is just basically a free rank 4, and with extension, it can become a lot more, which is just really cool. But yeah, and also all the Exosister little monsters are spellcasters, which brings up some synergy here that we're going to go into. Stella's a 3 of because you just want that extra summon, right? And it doesn't have to be when she's summoned as well, which is also a big plus, because if you draw into another Exosister, or if you search one, then you can special summon that later on during the turn, which is really good. Then we're playing 3 Exosister of Flame. This is a really good card in the deck because it gives you an extra so I'll read the effect. You can target one Magistus monster you control, equip it with a one Magistus monster from your extra deck. If this card becomes equipped with a Magistus monster card, you can special summon one spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position, except Zora the Mistress of Flame, but its effects are negated, and you can only activate with the effect of Mistress Zora once per turn. So, this is really good because you equip it with Artemis, the Moon Maiden, and the Moon Maiden, while she's equipped to someone, can actually search for a Magistus card. So you search another copy of Magistus Zora the Magistus Flame for a follow-up on the next turn, which is really good. And yeah, very good indeed. And it's a 3 of because you want to see this. You want to see, maybe it's not that good late game because you only play one Artemis in the extra deck, or at least I only play one Artemis in the extra deck because I want more space for other things. But at least I think Zora is a really good inclusion in the deck. I think especially turn 1, getting this on the field is really good because it gets you into your spellcasters if you don't have one, and you don't have to use it when he's summoned, right? You can use it later on in the turn, and it's also from the graveyard, so if you detach from an Exosister monster, then you can summon this, attach it, and then summon back something else, which is really good. And then we're going on to the other things. So we're playing 2 of each of the spirit charmer little monster things. So all of them have the effect where if you control a spellcaster monster, you can special summon it from your hand, and you can only control one of them at a time, so which is honestly not really that big a deal because you use them for Xyz material most of the time, because the Xyz monsters are actually generic, which is really cool, but also really why, but either way, so you can use them both in a turn. You can summon one, use another whatever, and then use it as Xyz material, and then summon the other one, and then use it for Xyz material for another one, which is really good. But anyway, they also have a little effect. So each of them has a little effect, which doesn't usually matter, but hey, it could. So if this card is destroyed by battle or a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one monster with 1500 and 200 defense in your graveyard, except random you and special summon it. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't. Then, if they stop your summon or whatever, then you can just go, hey. But then this guy, it's the same thing. You can only control one, special summon it if it's a spellcaster monster, and during your opponent's end phase, if this card's in your graveyard, you can target one face-up monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card. So it doesn't come up usually, but hey, it's a free rank 4 if you need one, if you can't get one, which is not usually the case, but hey. Then this card, what it does is if it's destroyed by a card effect in the graveyard, special summon it from the graveyard. If it's destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard during the end phase, you can special summon it. Then this guy, what it does is, this card is destroyed by a battle or a card sent to the card effect. You can special summon one monster with 1500 attack or 200 defense from your deck, which actually comes up sometimes. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go on to the hand traps now. So we're playing 3 Ashe. Ashe, which if you don't know what she does, if you're newer to the game, when your opponent attempts to do one of the following effects. So, add a card from the deck to the hand, special summon from the deck, or send a card from the deck to the graveyard. You can activate this card to negate the effect of the card that is doing that, and to basically negate the whatever. 3 of, very good. You really want to see this card in your opening hand because usually you have your way to get your to your Magnifica or to your Utopic Future, and you want some backup. You want some way to stop them as like a little bit more because Magnifica by herself is 2 interruptions, maybe even more if you have armament. And Utopic Future is just one. It just depends which one you use depends on the deck you're facing. But Ash is just really good. It's a really good interruption, and it's basically free. So, yeah, it is an expensive card. So I understand if you can't play it. If you can't, then another good option would just be like putting more of any of the hand traps that I have, like either another Imperm or another Veiler. I would actually switch out a Veiler for another Imperm, but it's in one of my other decks, so we can't do that right now. But I would switch out, instead of 2 Veiler, play maybe 1 Veiler and 3 Imperm, which I'm going to show later. But anyway, let's go on to Veiler now. So Veiler, what he does is during your opponent's main phase, which is why it's worse than Imperm because you can't use it during your turn, you can activate this effect, target a monster your opponent controls, negate its effects to the end of the turn, which is really good. It doesn't really matter that it's only during your opponent's turn because you're usually using this as interruption. Imperm's just a little bit better because Imperm isn't once per turn, so it's basically like Veiler, but you can actually use it from your hand and use it during your turn, which is really good. But we're playing 2 Veiler because I am dumb. Then we're playing 3 Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre, I think, is like I understand that Therion Punk is a thing, and again, Veiler is good against Therion Punk. Veiler is good against what's it called? All this meta stuff. It's good against Branded. It's good against Plunder Patrol. It's good against Sword Soul. Ghost Ogre is actually good against Sword Soul. It's good against Branded. It's good against any of the adventure stuff. So Plunder Patrol. It's also good against Plunder Patrol because you can ogre the Blackbeard and then they go like, hey, what do I do now? But it's really good. If you don't want to play Ghost Ogre or if you don't want to play Effect Veiler, I would recommend DD Crow. Or if even if you don't want to play one of the more expensive hand traps like Imperm or Bell, or sorry, not Bell, or Ghost Ogre, damn it, or Ash Blossom, then you can play DD Crow instead. DD Crow is kind of less pricey. Or yeah, DD Crow is really good in the format as well. I just choose Ghost Ogre because I think Adventure is really stupid and I want to deal with that the least amount as possible. And also Ghost Ogre is just decent, you know? It's not a bad card. Then 2 Armament. I might actually switch this to 1 and put in just another thing. But Armament, what it does... Oh, I forgot to go what Ghost Ogre does. So Ghost Ogre, what she does is when there's a monster effect on the field or a card that was already on the field activates its effect, so like a field spell or a continuous spell or a continuous trap, you can activate the effect to destroy that card. And that's good because... field spells and continuous cards have to stay on the field to resolve their effects. So if you Ghost Ogre them, they can't do that, and then they can't really do anything after that, which is really cool. Then again, 2 Exosister armaments. So what this does is there's a bunch of text on this for no reason. All it really does is during your opponent's turn, you can activate this to summon an Exosister Xyz monster that you don't already control using an Exosister monster you control as material, and then add that material to her. So it's just good. Actually, I don't think you add the material to her if it's Xyz. You just use the Xyz monster as material. But it's really good because that way, if after your Magnific activations, after all your activations that you're done, you can use this and then get an extra effect. Maybe an effect negation of Gibrine, maybe Graveyard Lockdown from whatever. It's just good. I might cut this down to 1 because it's searchable off of a lot, and you can't really summon Magnifica off of it, which is like the big thing. So it's good, but I might cut it down to 1. Who knows? Then Exosister packs. This card is insane. So during the main phase, you can pay 800 life points, add 1 Exosister card from your deck to your hand, except Exosister packs. So any of the spell traps, literally just any Exosister card. It's like, hey, I want you. I got you. And then you can if it's a monster card, you can special summon it if the card that's named on it, so the little pair friend thing, is on the field or in the graveyard. So it's really good. It's really good for extension. It's really good for starting if you need just another way to get into your rank 4s, or it's really good to search Vadis, which is something you want to do because Vadis is a good card. Then, one Called by the Grave, because Called by the Grave is really good. So what this card does is you can banish a card from your opponent's graveyard, then negate the effects of that card or the cards by that name for the rest of the turn and the rest of next turn. So it's really good. It stops hand traps, it stops troublesome monsters that you don't want to deal with. Really good. One Monster Reborn for extension. You can reborn one of your, it's at 1, so that's why I'm only playing at 1, but you can reborn one of your Xyz monsters, and then use it for Xyz material for a Magnifica or a Utopic Draco Future, which really comes in clutch later in the game when you're running low on resources. Then 2 Imperm. Again, I'd switch out 1 Veiler for an extra Imperm, but right now I can't find my 3rd one, so I'm just doing it here. But yeah, Imperm, what it does is if you control no cards from your if you control no cards, you can activate this from your hand. So it's if you're going second, or if you're you can set it too, which is really good. So you can target one monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn. If this card was set before activating, every spell and trap in that column is negated for the rest of the turn. So that's good. Then Infinite Impermanence, I already did that. Exosister Vadis. So this is actually an insane card. Pay 100 life points. Choose one Exosister monster from your deck, then take one other Exosister monster from your deck that is mentioned on that monster, and special summon them both, but shuffle them into the deck during the end phase. Also, during the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Exosister monsters. So this is really good to get into your rank 4s and to proc the both effects of the Exosisters. So say you do Sophia and Irene, you get basically 2 draws if you don't want a card in your hand, and you gain 1600 life points, which is not a lot, but it's not nothing, you know, especially in time. It's just really good. But anyway, that's all for the main deck. Let's go into the extra deck. So we're playing 3 copies of Exosister Magnifica. So this card is insane. I like playing 3 copies because it does the 3rd copy. Usually you only go into 2, but having the 3rd one really helps for those for those tricky situations where you're like, damn, I need another Magnifica right now. Then hey, you got another Magnifica. So what this card does is must be XYZ summoned by the above material, so it takes 2 rank 4 Exosister XYZ monsters. Then it can make a second attack during the battle phase, which is 28, so it's really easy to OTK with this card. Then once per turn, as a quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, banish 1 card your opponent controls. When your opponent activates a card or effect during the you can quick effect, you can return 1 Xyz monster attached to this to the extra deck, and then special summon it using this card as material. So it's like basically what usually the play that you're going to do is you're going to do a Caspitel to search out a monster and to get out the Michaelis, and then use them both as Xyz material for a Magnifica. So what you could either do is you can make it so you can get the non-targeting banish because it's a non-targeting banish. Then either get out a second banish from the field or graveyard with Michaelis, or lock them down from their graveyard with Caspitel. I'll go over what each of them do later on, but yeah, that's basically what you do. It just gets you a lot, and honestly, most of the time you're going to be able to go into this over the Utopic Future Draco because this just does more. I know the negate with the stealing effect is really good, but at the same time, it's like, hey, Magnifica, you can actually do Exosister stuff with this. Well, so 3 Magnifica. Then we're going into 3 Michaelis, because Michaelis is probably the second best Xyz monster that you have. So it cannot be destroyed by battle with also all of the Exosister extra deck monsters have the clause where they can't be destroyed by battle but with a monster from that's special summoned from the graveyard. And then they'll all have their own effects when they're summoned, and also just as a trigger effect. So Michaelis, what she does is you can only use each of the effects of Michaelis once per turn, and if you control this card, if it was XYZ summoned, if you control this card that was XYZ summoned this turn by using an Exosister monster as material, quick effect, you can detach one, you can target one card your opponent controls and banish it. Then you can, and as just a separate effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, add 1 Exosister spell trap from your deck to your hand. So usually you're going to be summoning this with whatever you have, and then going into this on your opponent's turn to get a second banish, which 2 banishes is really good. So, this one does target, I think. Yeah, it targets 1 card your opponent controls in the graveyard or in the deck, so it's really good for graveyard just interruptions. But either way, it has those 2 effects. It can search your Vadis, it can search your Pax. It's just really good. Then we're playing 3 Exosister Caspitel. which if I can find. Actually, we're playing 2 Exosister Caspitel. Let's go. Okay, so Caspitel, what she does is the same thing with the battle stuff, and then once per turn, if this XYZ summon card using if this card was XYZ summoned this turn using Exosister Monsters material, neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyard for the rest of this turn. And as another effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, add 1 Exosister monster from your deck to your hand. So usually you're going to search Ellis from this to get the extra special summon, or if you want follow up for the next turn, if you already have everything, then you just search something else. Then Exofiel. So what she does is cannot be destroyed by battle, same thing, and each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is XYZ summoned using an Exosister Monsters material, neither player can activate cards in the graveyard for this turn. And then you can detach 1 material from this card, target 1 monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So it's a bounce on your turn only, which can come up a lot of the times because it's good. It does target, but the bounce it like comes up, you know. Then we're playing 1 Gibrine. So Gibrine, what she does is when she's XYZ summoned, you can target 1 effects monster your opponent controls, negate its effects to the end of this turn. And as a separate effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, and for the rest of this turn, XYZ monsters that you control gain 800. So sometimes it helps to push for game. Then we're playing the Zeus package. The Downward Magician is basically just to stack up on any one of your Exosister monsters, and Zeus, what he does is as a non-once per turn, not once per chain quick effect, you can send all cards on the field besides him to the graveyard. So it's non-targeting send as a quick effect. It's just really good, and you can use it really easily in your deck, especially if you've like run out of things to do with your Michaelis and stuff. You can just do this, do Downward, get a one activation Zeus out, and which is better than nothing, you know. So yeah, and then the last monsters in the deck are the Artemis Moon Maiden. So what she does is when she's equipped to Zora, she can search for a Magistus monster from your deck, which is the other Zora, which is like bam. And it's really good. It's just really good. Then the last 2 cards in the deck are Utopic Future. This is basically just to summon the Utopic Draco Future. But it needs 2 Xyz monsters and material with the same rank, so you're using 2 level 4s. And then Utopic this one doesn't really matter, it's just to get to this, but it does have an effect. So it cannot be destroyed by battle, neither player takes any battle damage or attacks involving this card. At the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can take control of that monster until the end of the battle phase. So it's like, it can come up if they like go, hey, you can't summon anymore. Then you just go, hey, I'm going to attack you and steal your monster. It is only until the end of the battle phase, but it's still something. But then Utopic Future Draco, it's basically like pseudo Magnifica. So you use Utopic Future Draco to summon it, and what this does is you can you can also XYZ's summon this. Man, I can't speak today. Using a number F0 Utopic Future you control as material. That's his first effect. Then transfer its materials to this card. And it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. And then once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, as a quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate its activation, then gain if it's a monster on the field, gain control of it. So it's literally just yoink. Which is really good. If they activate their Baron effect, it takes away their Baron. If they activate their Blackbeard, you're just, hey, you can't use your Blackbeard effect. Same thing with any of the Plunder Patrol ships. Same thing with any of the what's it called, the branded monsters. And same thing with any of the Punkthyrion stuff, which is really cool because then you can, if they send as cost if the Therion send the monster that's attached to them as cost, you can steal the Therion monster and then steal their negate, not on their turn, but on your turn, which is really good. But anyway, guys, that's it for the deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, I'm not the best deck builder. I'm not the best Yu-Gi-Oh player. If you disagree with anything, oh my gosh, the hiccups. If you disagree with anything I said or any of the decisions, please let me know. I would love feedback. After all, I'm still a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I love to learn. I love to get better at playing, you know. So any suggestions, anything at all, just let me know in the comments. Anything you disagree with, anything I should be doing better, then again, let me know in the comments. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, maybe it be decks that you want covered. I may not be able to get it on paper because I'm kind of broke, but which is funny because I have so many high rarity cards, but that's besides the point. Anyway, you just let me know what you want to see, and I'll try my best. Maybe it'd be on EDO Pro, maybe it'd be on whatever, but it won't be on. Maybe it won't be on paper, but it'll still be something, right? So yeah. Anything, like, cause I think I'm a decent player, you know. I'm not the best, but I'm decent, like. But yeah. Anything. Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, maybe even subscribe, and if you want, ring the notification bell down below. And yeah, see you guys later. Hope you have a great day.